I just wanted to come here. We're 7 days now, marking the 7th day of the government shutdown. And the governor's put 7 compromises on the table to date, and the Republicans still haven't put a serious compromise to date on the table. This is a very tough time for our state. We're in 1 week after the shutdown, and still the Republicans have refused to move 1 single inch in this government shutdown here. I guess what we're most frustrated by is the vitriol and the name-calling, the heckling that's going on by Republicans. There's no place for that. And we're here today to call on the Republican Party, particularly Chairman Sutton, Michael Brodkorb, the deputy chair, who also works for the state Senate, to end the vitriol, to end the name-calling, the finger-pointing, the blame-placing. It's time to actually get to work, to sit down with the governor in a serious way and try to find some common ground so we can get Minnesota back to work. Mary LaHammer just mentioned that if we go into next week, we'll have entered the longest government shutdown in our state history. And that's not a great legacy for either party, frankly. The governor wants to end this. Democratic legislators want to end this. We want to find a way to get government back to work, get people back to work, get businesses open again, get people enjoying the summer in this state. But we can't do it with all the name-calling that's going on. It's unfortunate that our civil discourse, our political discourse in the state has gotten to the point where people are bad-mouthing former vice president, bad-mouthing a sitting governor in this state. There's no place for that. And we ask them to end the vitriol, end the name-calling, get to work, sit down, and finish the deal. So, are there any questions?
Mr. Chairman, how has this gone beyond normal political discourse, name-calling of the governor?
Well, I think if you look back in the last time government shut down, it wasn't quite as nasty. You know, there was a mutual respect shown to both sides, and the fact is that people tried in earnest to sit down and respectfully, there were disagreements, respectfully disagree and try to find some solutions here. We've gotten to the point now that the Republicans essentially are trying to win a political argument instead of doing what's in the best interest of Minnesotans. And so we're not trying to win a political argument as Democrats here. Mark Dayton and the Democratic leaders in the legislature are trying to do what's in the best interest of Minnesotans, not trying to win a political argument. And that's what the Republicans are doing here. And that's resulted in this kind of name-calling and just nasty name-calling and finger-pointing that I think has no place in the discourse when we're facing this severe crisis.
Do you believe the shutdown is good politically for Republicans? Do you think they believe that?
I don't think it's good for any Minnesotan. And if they do believe that, it's really unfortunate because that's obviously entering their mindset and has prevented them from negotiating in a fair and responsible way. So, no, it's not good for anyone. It's not good for any political party at this point, and anyone who would suggest otherwise is fooling themselves. What we need is people to realize that the state of Minnesota is hurting now. There's real people who are hurting, people who've lost their jobs, businesses who can't operate, and we need to get to the task of actually solving this and put the politics aside for a couple days or at least a couple hours so we can come together and negotiate. Again, the governor has moved a mile. They have not moved a single inch in this whole dang episode. Since day one of this legislative session, the governor's compromised. He's compromised 7 times. He took the central premise of his campaign promise and where he started at this legislative session off the table. He took revenue off the table, and the Republicans still refused to compromise, all to protect the richest Minnesotans. He came down and said, all right, let's just tax the millionaires in this state, the 7,700 people in this state who make over $1 million a year, and it still wasn't good enough. What is it going to take for the Republicans to move off their position and get this state back to work?
But to follow up on Pat's question, do you think that they think that it's politically positive?
I don't know what they think, to be honest with you, Jeff, and it's really unfortunate. If we knew where they were coming from on this, maybe we could try to find some, way to actually negotiate, because they're clearly not putting the best interest of Minnesotans forward, and they must be looking at this through a political prism. That this is in their best interest for their party to delay this and to prolong this government shutdown. It's just not right. It's not fair to Minnesotans to have this be viewed through a political prism.
But you walk right up to the line and then you don't step over it. You're saying that they're in it to win a political argument, but you're not sure if shutting down the state is a political argument.
I think they think it is a political argument, Pat. I think that they think it's in. I think they think it's in their best interest to keep government shut down. Absolutely, I do. It's very clear in the last 6 months, with their lack of movement, that this is something they wanted. This is something they've planned for all along. The fact that they haven't come forward with any new proposal in the last 7 days, and the governor on Tuesday put forward 2 more proposals. Again, moving a mile, they haven't moved an inch. The fact is, if they actually cared about Minnesota and not about winning a political argument, they would put some real solutions on the table.
Couldn't the same thing be said, though, on the flip side? A lot of Republicans are saying, yeah, Democrats think the shutdown is going to be great because they're the ones who go to the polls first. With Republicans controlling the House and Senate, they face voters before the DFL.
Well, no, I don't think that's right. Look, this election next year in 2012 is going to be a referendum on Governor Mark Dayton and on the Republican legislative leaders. And so at the end of the day, it does no one any good to try to win a political argument here. The best thing that these folks can do right now is to solve this problem. And I think the governor's shown a willingness to do that. He's shown a willingness to move off of his original position and to compromise. The Republicans haven't. So, we don't think it's in our best interest as a political party, and we certainly don't think it's in the best interest of Minnesotans to prolong this any further.
Have DFL minority leaders stepped up? They were not behind closed doors in the bipartisan negotiations. Should they be coming forward with offers and playing part?
Well, I think they're taking their cues from the governor right now. They're certainly working with the governor to figure out solutions. And so, they're part of these negotiations just like the Republicans are. And they are putting solutions on the table with the governor in consultation with him to figure out some solutions here. So again, Tuesday, you saw some potential solutions put on the table. The Republicans rejected them in short order without even going back to their caucuses and giving any serious consideration to what the governor, again, proposed last Tuesday. So I don't know why we're at this point right now, because again, the governor has shown a willingness to compromise. The Republicans are so dug in at this point. I'm hopeful that we can make some progress next week, but it's really going to take the Republicans recognizing that we shouldn't be trying to win a political argument. We should be doing what's in the best interest of Minnesotans.
How great is the risk that the shutdown will hurt?
Well, I think it already has, right? I mean, we're losing millions of dollars a day in this state. There's businesses that can't operate, 22,000 Minnesotans without a job right now. And frankly, I think people see the partisan bickering going on both sides, frankly. But the Republicans' name-calling and finger-pointing doesn't help instill faith that government works the right way. If we want to instill faith and confidence that our government is working in the best interests of Minnesotans, then what we need to do is get to the table and negotiate in good faith and actually work towards a solution here. Not finger point, not point fingers and try to blame people and name call. What we really need to do is negotiate in good faith and come up with solutions. So, any other questions? You'd have to ask the Democratic leaders on that, to be honest with you. I'm not in the room, so I don't know exactly what's been said and what hasn't been there. But I will tell you this much, that the Democratic leaders support the governor. They support where he's at right now, what he's trying to do to solve this problem for the state. Democratic leaders in the House and the Senate and the governor consult with each other regularly, and they know that what they need to do is actually help solve this problem. And that means we need to negotiate. We need to compromise. We need to find common ground to make this state work again. The Republicans, on the other hand, are trying to win a political argument again at the expense of the rest of Minnesota, and that's just not right. Thank you.